Chapter 4. Jenna came home yesterday. After 4 days in the hospital, they gave her the all clear and said it was time for her to recover at home. They were the longest 4 days. I felt more out of place than ever, wandering around the house without Jenna in it. It didn't even feel like my house anymore. It was just bricks and walls and awkwardness, and I thought, maybe stupidly, that would have been the time we would all come together, Mum, Dad and me, that we'd all sit down and talk about it, finally sharing how we feel. But that's not the way this family works. We all hide away, me in my bedroom, Mum in the kitchen, Dad in the man cave, and we keep ourselves to ourselves. Most of the time that's okay with me, but sometimes, just sometimes, I need to talk to someone, feel something. Do you think that it'll be okay for me to come over? Daisy asks. We're walking back from school. Callum's staying late for detention, so it's just the two of us today. She's wearing my hat, but no coat, as usual. She really should have worn one today, though, because it rained earlier. It'll be fine, I shrug, hoping it will be. I haven't had any friends over in a while, and I know that Jenna will probably want to sleep for most of the evening. But that's all she's been doing since she's been home, really. I only really ever see her at dinner. Apparently the op went okay. That's what I overheard Mum telling Gran on the phone anyway. No one ever tells me anything directly. To them, I'm just a stupid baby who wouldn't understand. I asked Jenna if she's okay, of course, if she needs anything. She said she just needs time to rest, to feel better, and I obviously respect that. Daisy and I will just stay in my room and be quiet. That's what I try and tell Mum anyway, when we get in. What do you mean? Does she need dinner as well? Mum hisses angrily. We're huddled in the kitchen while Daisy waits in the hall. Yes, no, I don't know. Why does it matter? She can go before dinner time if that's easier, I whisper. I just wish you would have asked in advance, Alex. It's not like I'm caring for your sister or anything. Daisy won't care if the house isn't immaculate, Mum, and she knows Jenna's ill. We'll be super quiet. Mum considers this for a moment. Ugh, fine. But seriously, Alex, you should have asked first. I force a smile at her and shut the kitchen door. Why does she have to be so difficult? Ask first? I'm asking now. All I want for one evening is not to be sat feeling crap all alone in my bedroom. Is that too much to ask? All good, I tell Daisy brightly. Let's go up. I feel a sudden panic as she follows me upstairs. This had felt like such a good idea earlier, some actual human contact after school, but I hadn't thought this through. I haven't tidied or anything, and my drawings. I left them on my desk this morning. I whirl around as we reach the landing, my mind spinning. Can you wait here a sec? You could just put your ear against Jenna's door and see if she's sleeping. Can you do that? I'll just be 1 second. I dart into my room before she can answer, though she gives me a look like I'm an absolute weirdo, which I am, I suppose. I find the drawings where I left them, sprawled out across the desk. It's a habit I've gotten into, waking up in the morning and scribbling down stuff from my dreams. They're pretty much all still to do with Jenna. The picture I did this morning gives me the creeps. It's Jenna as some sort of demonic fairy looking down at us from the clouds and waving her wand. I don't remember exactly what happened in the dream, but I don't want to be reminded. Alex, I shove them all in the top drawer just as Daisy enters. Sorry, come in. I quickly straighten out my duvet and sit on the bed. She comes and sits next to me, the mattress sagging slightly. She's sleeping, I think. It's quiet in there anyway, Daisy tells me, crossing her legs. Okay, cool, thank you. Daisy nods, looking out of the window. The dim sunlight bounces off her face and I can see all her freckles. They're lovely. Should we watch a movie? She asks, her eyes meeting mine. Sure, I say quickly, hoping she didn't catch me staring. What do you want to watch? We end up with Peter Pan. It turns out Daisy likes kids' films. We slump next to each other on the bed, the TV opposite. Several times I think about holding her hand, but decide against it. I love that film, she says dreamily as the credits roll. It's so magical. It's good, I agree, leaning over to switch the TV off. But kind of sad too, don't you think? How come, I ask? I thought it had a nice ending. with Wendy and the boys going back to her family and Peter going back to Neverland. It all tied in quite nicely. Well, you know the Lost Boys are all dead, Daisy says matter-of-factly. My heart sinks. What does she mean, dead? They can't be. And Neverland is like a heaven, she continues. Don't look so shocked, it's true. I read it online once. The whole film is based on a story that used to be told to dying kids in hospitals to stop them from being scared. You know, instead of thinking about being torn away from your families and lying cold in a grave, you think Peter Pan's going to collect you and fly you away in the night. That can't be true, I argue, thinking quickly. What about Wendy? How come Wendy and her brothers get to visit but still go home? I don't know, Daisy shrugs. Maybe they were ill but got better? All I know is the basis of Peter Pan is death. Suddenly, not such a great film anymore. I wish we hadn't watched it. I put the DVD back in its case. The picture of Peter Pan on the front reminds me of something suddenly. My drawing earlier. Without hesitation, almost like I've forgotten that Daisy's here, I leap up and get the picture out of the drawer, holding it and the DVD case side by side. What are you doing? Daisy asks. I'm too absorbed to answer, staring intently at the two pictures. There are definitely similarities. Maybe in the dream Jenna was a kind of Peter Pan looking down at us from Netherland. But why does she look so evil? What's that? Daisy is behind me, looking over my shoulder. Weirdly, I'm not embarrassed. It's a drawing I did from my dream last night, I answer. The film just reminded me. Oh, Daisy is quiet for a moment, gazing at it. The picture's drawn really roughly, I have to admit, and I'm not great at drawing people. It's just, in the mornings I have an urge to document the dreams. I'm not sure why. Sorry. I turn to put it away, but Daisy gently places a hand on my arm. It feels like all my hairs stand on end. It's okay. Do you dream about it a lot, Jenna dying? The abruptness of the question catches me off guard a little, but I shouldn't be surprised. Daisy is a direct person. Yes, I suppose. I know it. I can be honest with her. It feels silly now, me ever being scared to tell her. She'll understand. She always understands. Does it scare you? She whispers. She leans slightly closer to me and I can feel her breath. It's warm and smells of crisps. Yes, I feel my eyes brimming with stupid tears. It really scares me, so I can't imagine how much it must scare her. Daisy moves closer and wraps her arms around me. I feel myself stiffen, surprised. Despite my stupid tears and my never-ending thoughts of Jenna, I become selfish for a moment and push all that aside. Because here, in this moment, a beautiful girl with curly hair and freckles is in my room, hugging me. I carefully put my arms around her, as gently at first, then squeezing a little tighter. I don't want to let go. I never want to let her go. I sniff hard and try to suck the tears back into my eyes. Daisy opens her mouth to speak at that moment, and the front door slams. Roscoe barks, and instantly I know Dad's home and it's nearly dinner time. I should go. Daisy reads my mind. I've got to get home for tea. Sure, I say, though I want her to stay. I walk out, my heart still beating too fast, and instead of going to the table, I go to Jenna's room. I don't know why, but I want to speak to her. Maybe I want to tell her about Daisy. Maybe I want to ask her how she's feeling. Maybe I feel guilty for not checking in on her myself when we got back from school. I don't know. My head's spinning. I'm about to knock on her door and I hear her voice and hesitate. I know, I'm sorry. It's Jenna. She must be on the phone. I turn to go, but she speaks again, her voice raised. It's bloody hard for me too. I freeze. Who the hell is making her raise her voice? Look, you can't come over today. Not tomorrow either. I'm too weak. All I do is sleep. There's a pause. No, it's not selfish, Ken. I need to get better. I clench my fists. So it's Kent, is it? That stupid, arrogant know-it-all. Before I know it, I've opened the door without even knocking. The anger has overwhelmed me. Who the hell does Kent think he is, upsetting my sister? And in her condition? Alex, get out! Jenna protests feebly. Ignoring her and breathing heavily, I take the phone from her hand. It feels like every part of me is shaking. I'm so angry. What kind, I say, slowly down the phone, of low-life idiot shouts at a recovering cancer patient? Alex, put Jenna back on, Kent barks. I grip the phone even harder and turn away from Jenna, who's trying to grab the phone back. Stay away from my sister, I instruct him, hearing the tremble in my voice. There are 1,000 other things I want to yell and scream and shout at him, but I can't even bring myself to listen to his pathetic reply. I click the end button and toss Jenna her phone back. Alex, she complains meekly, you shouldn't have done that. We were just arguing a little. Couples argue all the time. Normal couples, I correct her, wiping my hands on my trousers. They're really clammy. What do you mean, normal couples? Jenna asks, her voice icy. I mean regular, healthy couples. I raise my voice a little. Not what? Jenna challenges, struggling to sit up straighter in bed. Not what, Al? I can hear Mum coming up the stairs. I breathe deeply, trying to calm myself down. The situation has been handled. I've handled it. Not dying, Jenna screams suddenly, making me jump. You mean I'm no longer normal because I'm dying? She hurls her phone at the wall. It smashes. Jenna! Mum bursts in, carrying Jenna's tray of dinner. Darling, what's wrong? Why don't you ask your stupid son? She bursts into tears, covering her face with her hands. I swallow hard, trying to understand how everything had happened so fast. I don't understand. Kent upset Jenna and I was trying to help her. She shouldn't be upset, ill or not, but especially in her condition. Surely any brother would help his sister. Why is she so upset? Darling, it's all right. Mum places the tray on the side and throws her arms around Jenna. What's going on up there? Dad shouts from downstairs. I feel my eyes filling with these stupid tears again as I take in the scene in front of me, the scene that I've caused. Jenna is so mad. Her phone is completely smashed on the floor. Dad's making his way up the stairs. I can hear him. I run into my room and lock the door, feeling like my lungs might burst. 10 minutes ago, Daisy and I had our arms around each other and it felt like nothing would ever go wrong again. Now I've annoyed Kent, upset Jenna. And I'm sure to get a bollocking from Dad. I lay face down on the bed, wishing that I could rewind those 10 minutes and start again.